You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, and you're working in this place. I worship you, I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Yeah. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. And you are here, touching every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, you're turning lives around. I worship you, I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you, I worship you. Oh, we call you waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Oh, that is who you are. 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 Oh, that is who you are. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop, you never stop working. You never stop, you never stop working. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't feel it, you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, that you're working. You never stop working. You never stop. Even when I don't see it, you're working. Even when I don't see it, you're working.
Hi everyone. Bernard of Clairvaux was a Benedictine monk that lived about 1,000 years after Christ. He was credited with restarting much of the Benedictine monasticism, a kind of cloistered group of people who sought to seek God. Did a lot of writing, and I came across this sentence that I thought kind of caught me here as we think about Jesus taking on human flesh. And he said, "It is a thing beyond measure, sweet to look upon, man's maker as a man." He goes on to say, "A loving friend, a prudent counselor, a mighty helper. I trust myself entirely to him who willed to save me, knew the way to do it, and had the power to carry out the work. He has sought me out and called me by his grace." That idea that the one who made us became one of us is an amazing thing, all for the purpose of saving us. That was God's desire. That has always been God's desire, is to save us from the sin that brings death to all of humanity. And I like that because it is a good thing to comprehend. And I was thinking about it in the context of Matthew 16, particularly where he says in verse 24 of Matthew, I think it's Matthew 10, I think it is. It's Matthew 10. Matthew 10, he says, "A disciple is not above his teacher, nor a slave above his master. It is enough for a disciple to be like his teacher and a slave like his master." That's our call, is if Jesus came to take on sinful flesh, to give himself to us, that is our call as his disciples, is to begin to live out what Christ did. Now, we don't have to save people, but we get to live as Christ lived. He goes on, and this is in a larger passage about the coming persecutions that we will all experience when he's talking about this idea of a disciple not being above his teacher. And he goes on a little bit later, and he says, "Do not fear those who can kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather, fear him who can destroy both the soul and the body in hell. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a penny? And not one of them falls to the ground apart from your Father. And even the hairs on your head are counted. So do not be afraid, for you are of more value than sparrows. For everyone who acknowledges me before others, I will acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But whoever denies me before others, I will also deny before my Father in heaven." To be his disciples means that we will walk into difficult situations. We're going to be persecuted. That's what he's talking about in Matthew 10. That's not a pleasant thing for many of us to think about, but it is a reality because we are going to be his disciples. And if we're going to be his disciples, if we're going to be like him, then we're also going to take on some of the problems and deal with the things that he dealt with. In other words, he says later on in this chapter, or before it, he says, I'm sending you out among wolves, and I want you to be as wise as serpents and as innocent as doves. So know what's going on and know that you will receive persecution. He says, don't worry about that. He says, don't worry about that. And I think that gets back to what we are called to do as a church. We are to be his witnesses. That's why he's told us to go into the world. go into the world as his witnesses. That's our mission as a church, is to go in love and make new disciples of Jesus Christ. That's to be our heartbeat, because that was what Jesus' heartbeat was. Jesus and God's heartbeat was for Jesus to become like the ones that God had created. That goes back to being a man like the one who made the men. I messed that up, but that's all right. So your call is to live as Christ. Know that persecutions will come, but that is a call then to live faithfully as a disciple. Just as Jesus was the disciple maker and we are the students, Jesus was faithful to the end. That's our call as well. To go in love and make new disciples for Christ. That is who and what we are to be about as his church in this world. Knowing that we will be persecuted because of it, but know that we are in the good, strong hands of none other than Christ himself. And so go, be a witness to what Christ has done for you. Let me pray. Lord, thank you that you know all. And Lord, that you became one of us to show us how we are to live and to do what we could not do on our own, which was to save ourselves from our sin. Thank you that you've done that and you've paved the way and you've showed us how we are to live in this new world where your kingdom is continuing to expand. Lord, help us to continue to help that expand for your glory and for your honor. Even this day, O Lord, let us be a witness for you. I ask that in your name. Amen. It is First Wednesday tomorrow, and we'll be talking about how we can help our neighbors, particularly those who are struggling with food insecurities. And so we invite you to Faith at 6:30 tomorrow. We'll be in person in the sanctuary as well as online, and we'll be talking about how we can help care for our brothers and sisters around us. That's one of the ways that we go in love. And so I invite you to be a part of that and to contribute and be a part of that. We're going to have a food drive that's going on that will go through the 15th of this month. And I think it's primarily their ICA, our local food shelf, is asking for donations. And so you can go to our website to make a donation as well. So I also want to let you know that Alpha is right around the corner. And as I said last Sunday, I invite all of us, if we haven't completed the Alpha course, to complete it. And think about inviting someone to come alongside of you to join you in that process. I don't think you'll be disappointed for yourself or for the person that you invite. You've been praying for them. We're continuing to pray that God's kingdom would come in our community and in our friends' lives. And so I invite you to be a part of that. I hope you have a good day, and God bless everybody. Bye-bye now.